you've started your house hunt in Charlotte and the upstate of South Carolina, and you've been seeing some gorgeous homes for sale online for resale, but you're not quite sure if resale is what you need to be doing, or maybe you should be looking at new construction. Now, I recently posted a video all about the benefits of buying new construction, but in this video, we are flipping it on its head because there are some major reasons that you may want to avoid new construction and lean into everything resale. So in this video, I'm going to review the top 5 reasons that you need to be looking at resale instead of new construction. And stick around to the very end because I'm going to share with you a tactic that may save you thousands. Now, if you're looking to make the move to Charlotte, North Carolina, you're in the right place. I get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you who are looking to make the move and need a little bit of help and guidance. If that's you, drop into the description below. All of my contact information is there. Shoot me a text, a call, an email, whether you're 9 days or 90 days out, whether you're moving across the world, across the country, or just across town. We're here to make your move everything you want it to be. After doing that video about why new construction is great, I started to realize that there are also some major reasons why resale might be your best route. So these next top 5 reasons are coming directly from me and from my clients who experience the same things in going through the process of searching for their new home. Number 5 on the list: established neighborhoods. You may or may not know this, but when new construction starts to build, they clear everything and start from scratch. That means no trees, that means no bushes, very few plants. Instead, you have sod and a house. Well, if you are buying resale, in most cases, these are going to be in neighborhoods that are already established. What that means is not only are there beautiful trees, the plants have grown in bushes, you actually have far more wildlife. On top of that, you can also see who else is living there and if it's the right vibe for you. Trust me, we all know this. Not every neighborhood fits everybody's vibe. Is it quieter and slow? Are people out at the pool and the pickleball courts? These are things you probably need to know before making the decision to settle down in a certain home. Another key factor with this is in these established neighborhoods, usually the offsets from house to house are far wider than what you're going to find in new construction. The reason for that, of course, is with new construction, they are trying to optimize their output, meaning the more houses that they can fit into that neighborhood, the more that they can make. Now, plenty of people love this. I have a lot of clients that go new construction and they don't mind being really close to their neighbors. For many of my clients, they want a little more space, and that's going to lead us more to the resale route, which I personally have as a fan favorite. Number 4, homes are ready to move in quickly. Now, with new construction, if you are going to be building, it could be 8 months, and in some of my clients' cases, 18 months. Now, that usually is in the upper price ranges. Most homes that you go from your lot to build out is about 8 months, but that could be too long. With resale, in most cases in North and in South Carolina, from contract to closing is 30 days. In fact, you can even speed that up, and with a loan, you could close in as few as 21 days, and with cash, as few as 7, because we do just still have to get that title work done. This is something that if you're making the move and you know exactly where you want to be, you may not want to wait. In addition to that, it actually might make it easier to plan, even if you have a house to sell. Because the days for closing are very negotiable on resale, you could potentially lay out and have a longer closing date for your new home that you're purchasing, and then give you time and flexibility to sell your previous home. With many new construction builders, they're actually going to expect your current home to have been sold and closed sometimes before they'll even contract with you for build. This means that you might either have to lease back your own home or move into a rental while that home is being built out. In addition to that, new construction is not flexible on dates. In fact, they will give you a roundabout guiding rod on when your home could be done, but once they set the closing date, that's it. That's the closing date. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you delay closing, you will be fined every single day that you don't close. Now, resale is a lot more flexible. If you need an extra couple days, even in North Carolina, there's an extra 7 days built into the contract to give that flexibility, without having to renegotiate. Even so, if you need a few more days, I've never seen it where a seller is going to tell you that they will not sell you their house and that they're going to go back to market versus waiting a few more days. So there's a lot of flexibility there on closing, so you can move as fast or as slow as you really want to, which is a big deal. Number 3 on the list has got to be lower cost. That's right. In many instances, well, in most, buying resale is less expensive than buying new. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, of course, and it always depends upon the house and the kind of improvements you have inside of it, but it just tends to go that resale is a little bit less expensive, partially because it's new. Now, let's say you do buy a new house and you decide to sell it a year later. That house is not new anymore, it's resale, which means you're not going to be able to compete from a comparable standpoint with the other new homes that are being built and the prices they're being sold for. You are now in the resale category. Now, while resale also sells for slightly less than new construction in most cases, the other thing is, you're not going to have any surprise fees. That's right, the signs that you drive past for new construction starting in the 500s. It's a lie. Usually their smallest, most base model on the worst lot in the entire development will sell for the upper 500s. They can still say 500s, but it'll be like 590. Yeah, so honestly, it'll actually be more expensive. Plus the lot cost, plus if you do semi-custom, every structural change you make has a cost to it. And then on top of that, you have the design fees. Wouldn't it be nice to just walk into a home, see what you see, and know the exact price? That's resale. With resale, there are no surprises. You walk in, you see what you see, you know what the asking price is, and then of course you can negotiate from there. But there are no surprises, and that is something that I really love. Number 2 on the list, negotiations. Now, negotiating a resale home is far more possible than it is to negotiate on new construction. New construction, of course, they've got their prices, they've got their price sheets, their lists. They can maybe ask to knock off $5,000, but in most cases, it's just not going to happen. Instead, they usually like to do it through incentives, but then you also have to use their lender, which is their interest rate, and all the things that come with that. So what's the benefit in negotiating for resale? In resale, you're not dealing with a company. You're dealing with another individual. Now, because of that, there's also some emotions involved. And you have an agent who's representing you to negotiate, and they have their seller's agent who's truly going to be negotiating for them. Now, along with that, there are different ways to negotiate different things in a contract. Everything is negotiable when it comes to resale. Not so much with new construction. In fact, nothing is negotiated really with new construction. It's very rare. So with resale, we could be negotiating the price, the due diligence, earnest money. We can negotiate the closing dates and pick what works for us. We can also negotiate closing costs. Maybe you want some of the furniture. Perhaps you'd even like to get into the home earlier than closing to help you sell your other house. Or maybe the seller needs to stay a little bit later in the home and they can pay you to lease it back. There is so much that you can negotiate on an offer. It's endless, honestly, but those are some of the main things. I've seen far more. In addition, there's a lot more pressure in resale if a home has been sitting on the market for too many days. Now, average days on market varies. With the market that we're looking at right now and over the last year or so, it's been at about 30 days throughout the region. So 30 days on market is not something that's unusual. But if you start seeing those days tick up, this may be an indicator that the house might be overpriced, or there's just something about it that someone doesn't like. This is your opportunity to get an amazing deal on a property and purchase for not only under the listed price, but in many cases under the appraised value, allowing you to walk into the home with already having equity, far more than would you have gotten if you bought new construction. Now, another tidbit when we talk about value, you are going to get equity faster in resale than you will with new construction. Part of the reason for that is there's not a lot of comps with regards to new construction, and the second you close, it's kind of like driving a new car off the lot. That first year, it actually dips a little bit in its value. Nothing crazy, nothing terrible, but it does have a little bit of a dip. Meanwhile, buying resale, you might actually be more often than not walking into a house with some equity and then it appreciating much faster, especially if you decide to get into a home that maybe has carpets in the bathroom and in the foyer. You go ahead, get some hard flooring and improve upon the colors in the home. You know what I'm talking about. But if you do this and you improve, you're also going to rapidly improve the equity in the home. So these are some things you might want to keep in mind if equity is a concern for you. Number 1 on the list of reasons why you should probably be buying resale, charm and character. I don't know about you guys, but when I drive into many of these new construction developments, I feel like I'm on the set of 𝗖𝘁. By the way, if you've never seen the movie, it's about a couple that go to an open house and they practically get lost because every single house looks exactly the same. Yes, many new construction developments do have this 𝗖𝘁 horror movie kind of vibe. Now, when I go into a resale community, especially one that is a few years old, there is just an energy and a vibe and a charm that comes with driving down the street with beautiful trees and bushes. All of the homes have already had their own little specific charm added to it by the homeowners, and it truly sets them apart from the rest. Charm and vibe are totally a thing, and they are extremely important. Now, I remember trying to explain this to my husband when we bought our home. I said, honey, I need trees. And he said, I'll plant you trees. And I said, no, you don't understand. I need fully established trees in our yard. And sure enough, we have a massive 30-foot magnolia in the front and gorgeous oak trees and all kinds in the backyard. You don't get that if you buy new construction. Resale is the only way you're gonna get it. Now, aside from the established neighborhood, which we already talked about, let's talk about the charm inside of the house. I know white walls and white everything and the white oak flooring is totally the rage right now. I get it. I love walking into a home where the homeowner actually made some changes. They blew out a wall and they put in beautiful cabinetry, or they opened up the windows. Maybe they added a beautiful 30-foot deck off the back of their home and a fire pit. These are the kinds of things that you're not gonna get in new construction. They're things that you're going to have to add after you purchase the home. But it's also things that sometimes you don't even think about. You don't even know you love it until you see it. That is, I think, the magic of buying a home, is when you walk in and you see things that you didn't even think of before. I didn't know that I wanted all my appliances in this pantry that's massive. I didn't know I needed a mudroom. Who would have thought that having a covered screen porch would literally extend the living area of my home? This is gorgeous. These are the kinds of smiles that I see on my clients' faces when we walk resale properties. Because here's the thing, there's no two that are alike. They're all unique. They all have something different. And most of them have made these choices based on the things that affect their daily lives. So that's something you can still do, and you can add to the charm that's already been created, or you can sit back and enjoy what someone else has already done. Either way, I think this is one of my biggest arguments for resale, is because you do get something more unique, and you get something that will be fully yours. So I know I promised you a tactic to help you maximize the purchase and save you thousands. Now, this is something that I've done with my clients many, many times over, and it might be a really good deal for you as well. Now, for some of my clients, just getting closing costs is great and all, but they really want to see a massive impact on their mortgage. So what do? I highly encourage talking to your mortgage lender about the option for a 2-1 buy down. And here is why. You can save thousands over time on your mortgage by doing this. And if you still make your full mortgage payments, you can actually pay down your mortgage principal faster than you were originally going to. So here's what it is. In the first year, it buys your rate down 2%. So if you're at 6.5, now you're at 4.5. So for 1 year at 4.5. The second year, you're at 5.5. And the third year, you're back to your originally quoted amount. Now for some, they might say, well, I'm gonna go back to the original amount anyway. Why does it matter? Well, it's a win-win opportunity. Or should I say win-win-win opportunity. Why is that? Well, for 2 years, you get a reduced interest rate with reduced payments. So you can take that savings and you can reinvest it into the home, increase the equity, and get exactly what you want. The second part of it is, what if you get to the end of those 3 years and the interest rate actually went up? Maybe it went to 8%. Well, that's okay. You're still at 6.5. So you still won. And what if interest rates drop while you're going through those first 2 years? Here's the thing. You can refinance at any time, and it's actually pretty common for people to do so because they're hedging their bets. They're buying a home when the rates are high so that they can reap the reward by going ahead and refinancing when the rates drop, but now their house is worth more, but they're not fighting other people to try and get it at a higher price. They already own it. So you can still refinance during that time and lock in an even lower rate. So I see nothing wrong with a 2-1 buy down. There's also such thing as a 3-2-1 buy down, but this is something the seller would have to pay for. So get with your agent and make sure they know how to negotiate it, because this could be something that can save you a lot of money and give you a lot of opportunity. I hope this video brought you value. What did I miss in the comments? What do you love about buying resale? I want to hear from you. I do look at all of my comments. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel and be the first to know about all the changes coming to Charlotte, North Carolina. As I mentioned, I help people just like you making the move to Charlotte, North Carolina and the upstate of South Carolina. So if that's you, drop down in the comments below. All of our contact information is there. Shoot me a text, call, an email, or even set up a Zoom meeting with me. I would love to meet you. Whether you're moving 9 days or 90 days from now, across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move exactly what you want it to be. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. You're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're going to help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.